What's up, guys? Welcome to a video here that I'm doing. This is not something specific to Battlefield 4. I just wanted to do a video and discuss my new GTX 1080s that I've gotten. I picked up 4 of them about a week after they came out. As you know, I had 4 GTX Titan X's in SLI before on my Uber rig, and they were great, and I still think they're great cards, but obviously, you know, I want the latest and the greatest, so I got the 1080s. Naturally, since you know, for whatever reason they gimped the SLI capability of the new Pascal cards, I'm essentially just using just 2 cards, even though I'm playing on my 5K rig. So it's a bit, you know, it was hugely disappointing at first, but you know, the main reason. What the hell? How did I not get that kill? What the fuck? Anyway, you know, it was hugely disappointing because I thought my frame rates were just gonna get absolutely wrecked. I can't believe I said that as I got owned. But anyway, the FPS I thought was gonna get wrecked, but as you can see on the top left, I'm getting like anywhere from 80 to 90 frames a second, you know, in 5K. So let me just show you guys. Playing at 5K at 60 hertz, everything's on ultra. Of course, I'm not running AA, you know, but this is like really phenomenal performance for just 2 GPUs. I honestly couldn't believe it. Of course, the big difference is, you know, Battlefield 4 is kind of an older game now, so, you know, that's, some of you guys might say, well, that's the reason, but I would actually encourage you guys to check out my GTX 1080 SLI benchmark video. Oh, you bitch. I meant that guy, but you know, you guys should check out the GTX 1080 SLI benchmark video that I just did. I'll link it up here in the video here somewhere. But oh my god. But you know, I was just pleasantly surprised, to be really frank. Like, there's some of the newer games, you know, like Fallout 4, The Witcher 3, like Blood and Wine DLC, and some other games are just like amazingly like performant. And I just I thought it was gonna be a total like loss with just having 2 cards. I never thought, like, you know, I'll be able to play 5K with just 2 GPUs. So having said that, it's just, you know, I still want to discuss like what I think about the difference between having 4-way SLI and 2-way. Some of you guys who've, you know, subscribed to my channel from back in the day know that I've been running 4-way SLI at pretty much every generation of GPUs since the 580. The 580 Classified was the first card that I actually got 4 of, and my PC was such a monster back then that I had to run, you know, 2 1200 watt PSUs to get 580 Classifieds and 4-way SLI to work. I mean, the power draw was just absolutely insane. So ever since then, of course, every generation, 680, 780, the TIs, the you know, Titans, every generation of Titans, the OG, the Blacks, and then of course the Titan X's have been running 4-way SLI. And I just, you know, it's just one of those things that, like, that's just what I do. I mean, you know, they don't call me 30 4-way SLI IR for no reason. So that's just my thing. I just love running like everything maxed out with the best available hardware out there. So, you know, I felt really pissed off. Okay, what the fuck, that guy was just sitting there, or lying down. I just thought, you know, like it was gonna kind of ruin my whole thing, like if I wasn't able to run 4-way SLI. But talking about it from a purely gaming perspective, you know, I go for like the highest visual fidelity. As you guys know, that's why I'm playing at 5K. You know, a lot of guys out there will play it like 1080p or even 1440p, and no doubt, you know, my other rig has the Asus ROG Swift G-Sync monitor, which is a fantastic monitor. 1440p is awesome. You know, like if you're just playing FPS or some other games, like if that's your thing, that's cool. But you know, I prefer, like, I need to have like the best graphics available, and I just love high resolution. I want to play, you know, I really want to play stuff at like the highest available resolution possible. And you know, when 8K comes out, I'm obviously going to get that and whatnot. So it's just you know, playing at this high resolution with the best graphics card available in, you know, the part of like the most hardcore like configuration possible was just like my groove. And the gaming experience for the most part has been great. You know, of course, scaling is never like ideal. Past, you know, they say like it's not even good for two-way, which I completely disagree with. I've done so many benchmarks of SLI configurations, and you guys can check out the videos. I have proof. I always have the Afterburner or, you know, EVGA precision reading showing on in my videos. And performance has been more or less pretty good. Of course, there are certain games here and there where it's not optimized at all, but at the same time, you know, you can't expect that anyway. Like, you're never going to be firing on all cylinders, like, for every single game, because, like, performance in games depends on so many different things. You know, like drivers, it depends on the actual game, like how well it's programmed, and whether the game has been actually developed with multi-GPUs in mind. So all those things have to come together in congruence in order to have like a great multi-GPU experience. And I'm just, you know, I'm actually amazed that so many games have been performing so well all these years. But from what I've heard in the industry, it just seems like people are kind of going for like you know, SLI focused gameplay at the best, or maybe even a single card focused gameplay, which is somewhat disappointing. But you know, if it gives you 60 FPS or more, depending on what monitor you have, then that's cool. You know what I mean? There are people out there who like play competitively on like low resolution, but will have like a pretty powerful graphics card and run it like 200 FPS. Guys who like play FPS, you know, competitively, like Battlefield or even CS:GO and stuff. But for the most of us who are just playing for fun, just kind of, you know, want to have a blast like after work or school or whatever, you know, we're not, at least I can speak for myself, is I want to have a great visual experience and a gaming experience. Not, you know, one doesn't preclude the other. So I just want to, you know, say that like having the best hardware available is a good way to go, but at the same time, you know, if you can get performance without having that kind of setup, then that's cool. But you know, with the advent of the GTX 1080s, I gotta say, like, I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, this is the first time that like I can confidently say, and I've had these cards for about almost 2 weeks now, and I can confidently say that this card, like especially in SLI, just it's pretty fucking beastly. Like you can pretty much I don't want to use the word guarantee, but you can pretty much guarantee 60 FPS at 4K almost in like every game possible. Now, of course, if you start talking about AA and you know, start doing like 8 times MSAA, then that's gonna hurt your performance. But then again, MSAA sucked balls from the beginning, so I don't know who still uses that. But you know, if you're playing at 4K or less, the GTX 1080 like really like holds its own, especially if you get 2 cards. I mean, like I'd be really hard pressed to find a game that cannot play well, like, you know, at least 60 frames a second in 4K with all the settings turned up. Now at 5K, of course, you know, I still wish that they had 4-way SLI enabled for games, because as you know, I'd probably do that and want to play it like the maximum FPS possible. But You know, I'm having a good time, and that's what really matters, right? I mean, if you're gaming, you want to have fun. You don't want to be like playing and just be like, oh, you know, I want to get like maximum FPS. Yeah, that's nice to have, but at the end of the day, you need to have fun. Otherwise, you're just wasting time and money. So, you know, overall, I think the GTX 1080 is just like, in my experience, you know, as someone who's owned so many graphics cards and some of the best hardware possible, it's just like really freaking good. I mean, with 8 gigs of VRAM, I mean, even at 5K, I'm noticing that there's hardly any game that like exceeds that. Of course, you know, there are games like Tomb Raider where if I like up the SMAA and then have all the settings cranked up, then I'm getting, you know, like over 10 gigs of VRAM used, and the 1080 can't handle it. But if I turn down the AA and I still max out the settings, like, I'm still having a good time. And it's just, you know, the pros and cons of like 4-way SLI or 3-way SLI or just SLI, the gap is really narrowed with the Pascals. And this is actually huge news. I don't know if anybody's really talked about it, but again, I want you guys to think about that. You know, like, as a guy who's had 4-way SLI every generation, I used to think that, you know, unless you get 4-way SLI, your performance is going to be absolute shit. This is simply not true anymore, because the performance with just 2 cards is like really amazing. You know, like GTA 5, for instance, when I have the ENB turned on, yeah, I get over 60, like 55 to 60 frames a second with 4-way Titan X's. And with 2-way GTX 1080s, I'm getting only around like 40 FPS. But at the same time, you got to think about how insanely powerful that is. At 5K, you know, with every setting maxed out except AA, like, it's just like retarded how good this card performs in SLI. The scaling's much better with the drivers. There's so many things that are just like, it's just really well done. And you know, I would say that if I was building a rig from scratch today, I'd go for like a high refresh rate monitor, unless you're like a visual fidelity freak like me. And if you are, then of course, you know, get 5K or bust. But if you really don't care too much about that, I mean, really? How did that guy not know I was coming around the corner? Ah, time to knife this fool. Eat shit. Oh shit. But yeah, I would say get like a 4K monitor. I know they have only 60 hertz 4K monitors right now, but hopefully Dell is going to be coming out with that 4K OLED 120 hertz monitor. If they, you know, but if you're getting a 4K monitor now and 2 GTX 1080s, you are definitely set. I mean, it is, oh my god. Like, every game you're going to be able to max out. Don't quote me on the AA though, but all the other settings you should be able to max out. And with 2 GTX 1080s, you should be able to rock 60 FPS like near constantly. And I just love this freaking card, guys. Like, I can't believe it. I mean, the Titan X's were amazing, but don't get me wrong. You know, I still love how the card looks, and the 12 gigs of VRAM is just phenomenal. But the leap in performance with the new Pascal architecture is just like, it's jaw-dropping. I can't, you know, I can't praise it enough, and like, NVIDIA's really hit the ball out of the park. You know, yeah, I was pissed off about the whole SLI thing, but you know what? It's a good trade-off. Like, if it performs so well and, you know, you need only 2 cards, why spend all that extra money getting 4 cards and you use less power anyway? And then that's the other thing, guys. Like, the GTX 1080 uses one 8-pin power connector. Did you know that the 580 Classified had 3 8-pin connectors per card? I used to have that in 4-way SLI. That's right. 3 8-pin connectors per card, and I had 4 of them, so there was 12 8-pin connectors. That's why I needed dual PSUs, and I was pulling about 2200 watts from the wall when I was playing with that setup back in the day when I had 3 30-inch monitors. But You know, if you want to see pictures of it, of course, you can go to 30ir.com and check out some nice images of that. But as the architecture got better, you know, I still went 4-way SLI, but it got down to like 2 8-pin, or with the last GTX Titan X's, it was 1 8-pin and 1 6-pin connector per card. And you know, even then, because I had the modded BIOS running and I was overclocking the shit out of the cards, I was getting, like, I was still pulling about 1700 watts at the wall, and that's just enormous. Whereas right now, with just two 1080s and getting like really good performance, I'm getting like, you know, not even 1,000 watts pulled at the wall. Like, it's just, like, it's mind-boggling how much technology advances in such a short period of time. So know that, oh, you piece of shit. Anyway, know that hopefully with the new Titans that are coming out, there's a rumor that they may enable 4-way SLI again. And, you know, of course I'll be getting those, but even if they don't, I'd be happy with 2 cards given how well the 1080s perform. So, you know, it's just, I used to say that like 4-way SLI or bust. Like, if you aren't getting 4-way SLI, you're kind of skimping out, you're missing out on the performance. And to a certain extent, you could still say that's true. But overall, like, for a wide variety of games like Fallout 4 modded, GTA 5, ENB, you know, racing games like Project Cars, you know, like Dirt Rally, like Battlefield 4, Assassin's Creed, just like pretty much every game out there, the performance is just like really, really cool with the new GTX 1080s. And yeah, I mean, you know, SLI is always a kind of a contested topic. A lot of people who have no experience with it will always say, oh, scaling always sucks past like 2. Are you kidding me? That is such bullshit. But anyway, it's just scaling always sucks beyond like 2 GPUs, and like I love proving them wrong like most of the time. And you know, with benchmarks, I've been doing that. Even with games that are not been programmed that well, like scaling is pretty good as you increase the resolution. Like when you go past 4K and you're into 5K or like 4K surround, like I was back in 2014. I mean, the 4-way SLI like performed really freaking well. I had to turn down some settings, but you know, ultimately, I was still getting like 60 frames a second on many of the games. But in 5K with 4-way Titan X's, I was getting great performance. But I'm getting good performance even with 2 1080s right now. So yeah, I'm sure with 4-way 1080s, I would get great scaling. But you know what? I don't have to worry about that right now because the cards perform so freaking well. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I mean, like, you know, SLI is always like, as I said, it's a heated topic because, you know, you got to spend your money to get more performance. And it used to be the case that you need to get 3 or 4 cards to really get the oomph that you needed at high resolution. But the era for that might actually be coming to an end, which is good news for everybody, I think, because honestly, like, there were certain times where, like, you know, there are certain games or programs that don't you know, run well with 4 cards. It was kind of rare because most of the games I played worked really well, but there were definitely times when you know, certain games didn't use, like Arkham Knight, for instance, was a major disappointment because they essentially, like, you know, gimped the whole game and said you can use only 1 card, and Just Cause 3 was another massive disappointment where you could use only 1 card. And it's just, I don't see how people are, you know, or developers, I should say, are getting away with just enabling 1 card per game. I mean, SLI should be like a bare minimum. If they're not doing that, then I think they really don't deserve, you know, our $60, but that's a topic for another video. But yeah, guys, I mean, 2-way SLI, or just SLI for short, I think is like a great, you know, like in between, like, instead of, it's better than 1 card, but it's not as crazy as going with 3 or 4 cards. But at the same time, you know, You don't need like insane tweaking or like driver optimization to get holy shit, in order to get like performance that you need. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. Hit the like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.